Luqas, Luke, chapter 11. And it came to be while he was praying in a certain place, as he ceased, one of his Talmudim said to him, Adonai, teach us to pray as Yochanan also taught his Talmudim. And he said to them, When you pray, say, Our Father in the Shemayim, let your name be Kodesh. Let your reign come, let your desire be done on earth as it is in the Shemayim. Give us day by day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone who is indebted to us. And do not lead us into trial, but rescue us from the wicked one. And he said to them, Which of you shall have a friend, and go to him at midnight, and say to him, Friend, lend me 3 loaves, since a friend of mine has come to me on his journey, and I have naught to put before him? Then the one inside answering says, Do not trouble me, the door is already locked, and my children with me are in bed. I am unable to get up and give to you. I say to you, if he does not get up and give to him because he is his friend, he shall get up and give him as many as he needs because of his persistence. And I say to you, Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened to you. For everyone asking receives, and he who is seeking finds, and to him who is knocking it shall be opened. And what father among you whose son asks for bread shall give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish shall give him a snake instead of a fish? Or if he asks for an egg shall give him a scorpion? If you then, being wicked, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more shall your Father from Shemayim give the Ruach HaKodesh to those asking him? And he was casting out a demon, and it was dumb. And it came to be when the demon had gone out that the dumb spoke, and the crowds marveled. But some of them said, He casts out demons by Beelzebul, the ruler of the demons. And others trying were seeking from him a sign from the Shemayim. And he, knowing their thoughts, said to them, Every reign divided against itself is laid waste, and a house against a house falls. So if Satan also is divided against himself, how shall his reign stand? Because you say, I cast out demons by Beelzebul. Now, if I cast out demons by Beelzebul, by whom do your sons cast them out? Because of this, they shall be your judges. But if I cast out demons by the finger of Elohim, then the reign of Elohim has come upon you. When a strong man, having been well armed, watches over his own court, his possessions are in peace. But when a stronger than he comes upon him and overcomes him, he takes from him all his armor in which he trusted and divides his booty. He who is not with me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters. When the unclean spirit goes out of a man, he goes through dry places seeking rest, and finding none, he says, I shall return to my house from which I came. And when he comes, he finds it swept and decorated. Then he goes and takes with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last of that man becomes worse than the first. And it came to be as he was saying this, a certain woman from the crowd raised her voice and said to him, Baruch is the womb that bore you, and the breasts which you nursed on. But he said, Baruch rather are those hearing the word of Yahuah and keeping it. And while the crowds were thronging, he began to say, This generation is wicked. It seeks a sign, and no sign shall be given to it except the sign of Yonah the Navi. For as Yonah became a sign to the Ninevites, so also the bane of Adam shall be to this generation. The sovereigness of the south shall rise up in the judgment with the men of this generation, and shall condemn them. For she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Shalomo, and look, a greater than Shalomo is here. The men of Nineveh shall rise up in the judgment with this generation, and condemn it, for they repented at the preaching of Yonah, and look, a greater than Yonah is here. And no one, when he has lit a lamp, puts it in a hidden place or under a basket, but on a lampstand, that those who come in shall see the light. The lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore, when your eye is good, all your body also is enlightened. But when your eye is evil, your body also is darkened. See to it, therefore, that the light which is in you is not darkness. If then all your body is enlightened, having no part dark, all shall be enlightened, as when the bright shining of a lamp gives you light. And as he spoke, a certain Pharisee asked him to dine with him, so he went in and sat down to eat. And when the Pharisee saw it, he marveled that he did not first wash before dinner. And the Adon said to him, Now you, Pharisees, make the outside of the cup and dish clean, but your inward part is filled with greed and wickedness. Mindless ones! Did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But give in kindness of that which is within, and see, all are clean to you. But woe to you, Pharisees, because you tithe the mint and the rue and every plant, and pass by the right ruling and the love of Elohim. These you should have done, without leaving the others undone. Woe to you, Pharisees, because you love the best seats in the congregations and the greetings in the marketplaces. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you are like the unseen tombs, and the men walking over them do not know. And one of those learned in the Torah, answering, said to him, Teacher, when you say this, you insult us too. And he said, Woe to you also, you learned in the Torah, because you load men with burdens hard to bear, and you yourselves do not touch the burdens with one of your fingers. Woe to you, because you build the tombs of the Nevi'im, and your fathers killed them. So you bear witness that you approve of the works of your fathers, because they indeed killed them, and you build their tombs. And because of this the wisdom of Elohim said, I shall send them Nevi'im and emissaries, and some of them they shall kill and persecute, so that the blood of all the Nevi'im, which was shed from the foundation of the world, shall be required of this generation, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the Mishkan. Yes, I say to you, it shall be required of this generation. Woe to you, learned in the Torah, because you took away the key of knowledge. You did not enter in yourselves, and those who were entering in you hindered. And as he was saying this to them, the scribes and the Pharisees began to oppose him fiercely and to draw him out on many subjects, watching him and seeking to catch somewhat from his mouth, so as to accuse him. Luqas, Luke, chapter 12. Meanwhile, when an innumerable crowd of people had gathered together so that they trampled one another, he began to say to his Talmudim first, Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy, and whatever is concealed shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be known. So whatever you have said in the dark shall be heard in the light, and what you have spoken in the ear in inner rooms shall be proclaimed on the housetops. But I say to you, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, and after that are unable to do any more. But I shall show you whom you should fear. Fear the one who, after killing, possesses authority to cast into Gehinnom. Yes, I say to you, fear him. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 copper coins? And not one of them is forgotten before Elohim. But even the hairs of your head have all been numbered. Do not fear, you are worth more than many sparrows. And I say to you, everyone who confesses me before men, the bane of Adam shall also confess him before the messengers of Elohim. But he that has denied me before men shall be denied before the messengers of Elohim. And everyone who shall speak a word against the bane of Adam, it shall be forgiven him. But to him who has blasphemed against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven. And when they bring you to the congregations and rulers and authorities, do not worry about how or what you should answer or what you should say, for the Ruach HaKodesh shall teach you in that very hour what you should say. And someone from the crowd said to him, Teacher, speak to my brother to divide the inheritance with me. But he said to him, Man, who made me a judge or divider over you? And he said to them, Mind and beware of greed, because one's life does not consist in the excess of his possessions. He then spoke a parable to them, saying, The land of a certain rich man yielded well, and he was reasoning within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room to store my crops? And he said, I am going to do this, pull down my storehouses and build greater, and store all my crops and my goods there, then say to myself, Life, you have many goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, rejoice. But Elohim said to him, You mindless one, this night your life shall be demanded from you, and who shall own what you have prepared? So is he who is storing up treasure for himself, and is not rich toward Elohim. And he said to his Talmudim, For this reason I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you shall eat, nor about the body, what you shall put on. The life is more than the food, and the body is more than the clothing. Look at the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which have neither storehouse nor granary, and Elohim feeds them. How much more valuable are you than the birds? And which of you by worrying is able to add one pekos to his lifespan? If then you are unable to do the least, why do you worry about the rest? Look at the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, and I say to you, even Shlomo in all his esteem was not dressed like one of these. And if Elohim so clothes the grass which today exists in the field, and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, how much more you, O you of little belief? And do not seek what you shall eat or what you shall drink, and do not keep worrying, for the Gentiles of the world seek all these, and your Father knows that you need these. But seek the reign of Elohim, and all these shall be added to you. Do not fear, little flock, because your Father delights to give you the rain. Sell your possessions and give in kindness. Make yourselves purses which do not grow old, a treasure in the Shemaim that does not fail, where no thief comes near nor moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart shall be also. Let your loins be girded and your lamps burning, and be like men waiting for their master when he shall return from the wedding, that when he comes and knocks, they open to him immediately. Baruch are those servants whom the master, when he comes, shall find watching. Truly, I say to you that he shall gird himself and make them sit down to eat, and shall come and serve them. And if he comes in the second watch or in the third watch and finds them so, Baruch are those servants. And know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief comes, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. And you then be ready, for the bane of Adon is coming at an hour you do not expect. And Kepha said to him, Adonai, do you speak this parable to us, or also to all? And the Adon said, Who then is the trustworthy and wise manager, whom his master shall appoint over his household to give the portion of food in due season? Baruch is that servant whom his master shall find doing so when he comes. Truly, I say to you that he shall appoint him over all his possessions. But if that servant says in his heart, My master is delaying his coming, and begins to beat the male servants and female servants, and to eat and drink and be drunk, the master of that servant shall come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour that he does not know, and shall cut him in two, and appoint his portion with the unbelievers. And that servant who knew his master's desire and did not prepare, nor did according to his desire, shall be beaten much. But he who did not know, yet did what deserved flogging, shall be beaten with few. And everyone to whom much is given, from him much shall be demanded. And to whom much has been entrusted, from him much more shall be asked. I came to send fire on the earth, and how I prefer it were already kindled. But I have an immersion to be immersed with, and how distressed I am until it is accomplished. Do you think that I came to give peace on earth? I say to you, no, but rather division. From now on, 5 in one house shall be divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. Father shall be divided against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And he also said to the crowds, when you see a cloud rising out of the west, immediately you say, a storm is coming, and so it is. And when you see the south wind blow, you say, there shall be hot weather, and it is. Hypocrites, you know to discern the face of the Shemaim and of the earth, but how is it you do not discern this time? And why also do you not judge for yourselves what is right? For as you go with your opponent to a ruler, try hard along the way to settle with him, lest he drag you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and the officer throw you into prison. I say to you, you shall certainly not leave there until you have paid even the last coin.